Destined to be great and to live a life of change. You don't need to be in chains. The meaner voice is here again to bring the word to you. You need to be free.
You're listening to Dominion Voice by Pastor Lanre Ajanaku.
Morning and good to be here. I'm sure so many of us are excited about what 2019 brings, and if you're like me, you're already so excited about it that you're almost planning for it already, and that's why it's such a good opportunity to be here again today talking about your health. One of the key things about health and wealth is that both of them are so interrelated that you cannot really leave one without the other. Because if you have one and you don't have the other, it's just not complete. And that's why I'm hoping that at some point this morning, again, a lot of what you're going to hear this morning, there are things you know already, but you probably just need somebody to reinforce it again in your heart so that at least it helps you set a target for what the coming year is going to bring. So I'm hoping that at the end of today, we'll be able to, we'll go through a couple of those things, maybe not all of them, but a couple of things. Number one is the peculiarities, because I'm sure if you're like me, you've heard so many conflicting things about what really you should do, what you should eat, what you should not eat. If I probably heard that you are what you eat, but sometimes you also hear people tell you that it doesn't really matter, exercise is the most important thing, diet doesn't really matter. We know that obviously it's an interplay of all these things. We also will spend a couple of minutes talking about the place of rest. That's where I know many of us are failing. And that's because you just really want to work hard and hard and hard and hard because you're thinking about that target and that. And I heard some research as we're saying this, I think it was on Shine FM. And I smiled as I heard it because I said to myself, this really can't be true. You've just misunderstood what they're saying. Guess what they said? The summary of it was that if you actually exercise, you could die earlier. So I looked at myself and said, wow, this is the excuse I've been looking for. But of course, when I went back and checked that research, what they actually meant to say was that if you're over-exercising, then it becomes a problem by itself. So you've probably seen a lot of confusing research, a lot of confusing data. Please eat kale, don't eat kale. Spinach is good for you. Lettuce is no longer good for you because the CDC say don't eat it. There's so much confusion out there. But the key thing is holding on to what you know works and what is important. Again, understanding that one size never fits all. So I could come here today and tell you that 2 hours of strength training is good for you. And it is good for you to do that about 2 days a week. But you also know that if you have Parkinson's, if you have some other medical concerns, you want to be careful about the way you tailor your activity. So one size doesn't always fit all. Of course, it's your own body, it's your own way. Now, where do I start? Or what do I even believe? Is there a role for gender? Is there a role for socioeconomic status? So, can I really afford all those things that they say we should do? It's quite important, again, in making sure that you review all the details together. Now, what are some of the lifestyle changes we can make? So, stress management is probably one I want to emphasize, and that's because that's the one sometimes we don't pay a lot of attention to. Rest is good, diet is good, optimizing physical activity is good as well. But it's going to be all about behavioral modification, making sure that I can plan ahead. And if I'm not deliberate about it, sometimes I'm unable to achieve what I want to achieve with it because I just haven't put the right plans in place. And it's like put the right plans in place, it just all falls. So, what constitutes a healthy diet? Okay, a healthy diet isn't just about what's in the diet. It's about the portion size. It's about the time of the day I'm eating it. It's about the fact that it's clean eating. So I could come over here today and say, well, this guy's telling me to have breakfast. See, if I go over the back there and I have about 4 donuts, and I have I'm trying to underplay, but if I only have about 16 bits, and say, well, it's about creating my plate. And I say, you know what, let me just have a tiny bit of a pineapple there. And that way I will have created my plate and I'll have filled my plate. No. It's about understanding what is the place of proportion. And there are multiple factors that matter as well. So, you probably heard about sports guys who have really heavy meals. This is the reason why they have that. If I go and eat as much as they eat, I'm looking for trouble because I don't participate in as much physical activities as they participate in. And so if I'm excusing and saying, well, look at Usain Bolt, he has this and he has that and he has this and he has that, and I fill my own plate with such, and then I literally walk from one door to the other, they're only about 20 centimeters apart. And that's what I'm doing all day, just rotating through those 3 or 4 rooms. And at the end of the day, I say, well, I've done a lot of work today. And I look at the pedometer, and the pedometer tells me, you've done an excellent job today. You've had 1,250 steps. You know that there's a bit of a problem there, because then that means I'm not fulfilling what I should be fulfilling. So, in creating the plate, again, there's the broad classification that just says half of the plate should be vegetables. Again, the plate size matters. So it is true half of the plate should be vegetables, and a quarter of the plate should be grain and starches, and another quarter should be proteins. But if I'm having a plate as big as that big donut box there, that is a problem. So I remember having a fair at work I think about 2 or 3 years ago, and the dietitian was showing patients what exactly to do. So I walked into the station, because you could walk around the different stations. So I walked to the station, and when she showed me the plate size, the ideal plate size, I sort of cast a look at the day before that. And I said to myself, the plate size I had about last night will have been about a size and a half bigger than what she's showing me now. But again, it's about looking through what's the right size for you, but making sure that it comes proportionally. Now, there are different things, and you can refer to this later. Different components here have different reasons. Some it's because they contain specific types of fats that are protective. Some it's because they contain proteins. Some it's because they actually help your bowels move better. Some it's simply because of the antioxidants that are in there. And again, this is not a one-size-fits-all, because there are about 10 or so food items here. But you can obviously, know that there's way more than this that's healthy. But again, sometimes a choice of one of those ones could be a right choice to make. The other thing is this. People talk about good fat, bad fat. Some say avoid it completely. Some say have a lot of it. You're going to have a lot of food fats out there. But what we know is this. There is what is good, there is what is bad, generally speaking. Saturated, generally speaking, is bad. Avoid it. And that's the simple way to work with that. We also know that there's some other choices you can make with food. Now, one of them I want to emphasize a lot is avoiding eating late. And that's simply because that's one big contributor towards unhealthy living. Because again, many times you're working so hard during the day, you actually forget to have what people refer to as the most important meal of the day, which is your breakfast. And what ultimately happens is this. People then find that, because I've missed breakfast, I've skipped lunch, I have to really satisfy myself, because I have to tell myself, how could I go all day without eating? And so I have to compensate for the breakfast I've missed and the lunch I've missed, and therefore I have to have a really heavy plate at night. Unfortunately, the later you eat, the more deleterious it could be for your health. Considering that sometimes when we eat late, you watch a little bit of TV, and off you go to bed. But if you can eat that late and then go on and participate in significant physical activities, well, that's good. But most of us don't do that, because how many people here go to the gym at 11:30 p.m.? Very few people do that. So you eat a heavy meal at 11:15. You go to bed at 11:45. Well, you've had 30 minutes of exercising with your hands, moving the remote control. That does not qualify as exercise. So in that case, we need to be careful that we're making sure that they're healthy choices. The other thing you could do is look at the labels. When you're buying stuff, we always advise, look at the labels. In fact, a lot of dietitians these days actually do label reading with you. In fact, some will actually go into stores with you and tell you, rather than pick this is what to look out for in this, because as you know, sometimes the labels can be confusing. And again, I say that clearly because again, even if you go to fast food places, sometimes they tend to understate, not in terms of the exact amount of calories, but they try to make the pictures look great. If you've seen those pictures before on TV, how many times have you seen a picture of a burger on TV? And you go to the actual store and you bite it like, this looks slightly different from the picture I saw on TV. It's to make it look appealing to you. But what you should, rather than looking at the picture and how appealing the burger is, you should probably concentrate a little bit more on what's in the burger, what's in that tin I'm holding in my hand. Because again, reading a label is quite important. Now, we talk a lot about exercise. Remember, diet, I believe, is more important than exercise. And I like this quote. It says, abs are made in the kitchen, not in the gym. So I could do all I want to do in the gym and build up my abs, and they can build up my abs. Well, a lot more work I'm doing will be done in the kitchen rather than in the gym. Be deliberate about it. So it's not a chance thing. It's not a thing that it happens today and then I don't do it again until February 2020. And then I remember again, I said, February 2020 has come, but how would I do it again in April? No. Be deliberate, be consistent. Make a choice to do it. Now the food guides are rich, but sometimes you need to be specific. So if you look at a lot of food guides, the Canadian food guide being an example, you notice that I'm sure a couple of people in this room will eat a couple of things that are not on the food guide, and that's because the food guide is not made specifically for every diet. So you want to make sure you can tailor your own diet to as close as possible to the food guide, ensuring that you are not overbearing on certain aspects. The other thing is this: remember, your body always tries to defend its original weight. So if my body has gotten used to my weight like this, regardless of whatever effort I make to drop it down, the body does all it can do to make sure it keeps me at this weight. So it's a fight against your body in many instances to make sure that you can keep dropping your weight, and you need to keep working on that. Now, is sleep important? Now, you've probably had people who glory in, I sleep for 2 hours and my day goes great. I sleep for 3 hours. Yes, thank God for you. If that's you and you can maintain a good day with 2 hours of sleep, that's good. But remember that sleep affects a lot of things. It actually impacts on your satiety hormone. The less the sleep sometimes, the higher your weight, because again, what your body is doing is that it's increasing your stress levels. And again, people are going to ask me how many hours of sleep is good for you. I don't know is the answer to that. The reason for that being that it varies from one person to the other. For some, if you sleep for 8 hours, it is good. But for others, their day doesn't go great until they've slept 10 hours. Now, if you're sleeping 12 hours, it's a problem. Okay? Regardless of what your body is. If you're sleeping half of the day, then that's a concern. Because really, your body is not designed for that much sleep. But you need to work towards ensuring that you have an adequate number of hours of sleep that you can still function effectively for the following day. Now, how about exercises? So you've probably heard it's more recent, about 3 years or thereabout now. Exercises, medicine. In fact, you could go to your doctor's office, they actually will give you a prescription for exercise. The reason for that is that we're becoming more and more aware of the importance of exercise. And you're going to read a lot of studies that tell you about the number of hours you should be exercising. Generally speaking, we'll say about 2.5 hours a week. So some people say 30 minutes over a couple of days during the week is ideal. 2 days of weight training, and then you must tailor it to your own body needs. So, be specific, be deliberate. A couple of years ago, I had I'm not afraid to be self-deprecating in this case. So I had a gym membership, and my gym membership was going to run, I think it was about 4 months to the gym membership. So I suddenly realized and asked myself, why would you pay that much for gym membership and not use it? So what I decided to do was, every day I will go into the gym and use it. So at the start, it went very well because I was leaving home at about 5:30, getting there it was about 7-minute drive from home, getting there about 5:37 and exercising, and then going back home to take a shower and then go to work. I did that consistently for a total period of about 5 to 6 weeks, and then stopped. And then took a break of 2 weeks, and it was not a planned break. I can declare to say it was not a planned break. Then it occurred to me again, I did this for 5 weeks and you've stopped. What has happened? Then I said, I have to join the prayer line. I don't like being in the gym when the prayer line is going on, and I gave myself every excuse I could give. But if I had to be realistic, I could work my gym hours outside of the prayer line. I didn't need to be there for the prayer line. I could work it very side of the prayer line. Anyway, so I said to myself, I'm going to be going every evening now. Except I was leaving work late. And so what was happening was this. I was getting there and making sure that I registered my presence there. So one of the days, I'd done that consistently for about 4 or 5 days. One of the nights, I got there about 30 minutes before the gym was to close. The lady at the reception said, wow, you're early tonight. And I said, early tonight? Then I went back and looked and I said, she's right, because I've been getting about 10 minutes before the close, or 15 minutes before the close, because I had to register my presence there. So she said to me, 30 minutes, you're early tonight. So, anyway, I made up my mind that I was going to be getting there earlier, except that only lasted a couple of weeks again. Now, why am I saying this? I'm saying this because you need to plan your day and plan your time such that you can be deliberate about spending as much time as you can, and importantly, sustaining it. Sometimes there's no point starting it if you can't sustain it. But again, if you're going to skip the excuse and say, well, he said to me there's no point starting it if I can't sustain it, please start it. And then work towards sustaining it. Because that would be helpful. Now, we know for exercise, it helps your body clock, it helps you sleep, it helps with mood, it actually helps in improving stress-related conditions, and that's quite important. So that, in terms of modifying activities, say generally, get up, be active. We say dance, run, anything you like doing. Think about what you enjoy doing and doing it. For some people, it's just simply going in and playing badminton. For some people, it might be something as simple as table tennis. For some, it's dancing. For some, it's just about picking whatever it is that you think you can do. Now, there's a lot of confusion about how many number of steps you should take. There's a lot of agreement about 10,000 to 12,000 steps a day. If you can achieve that, that is great. And there's so much technology now for counting that. I'm sure many of us have wristwatches that count them. You can even have simple pedometers that you literally just attach to your belt line, and it can count number of steps. If for some people have apps on their phones now, that actually most phones have them now, where you can actually just track them. So you have no excuse not to do it. Because it's not about you going and investing heavily, but sometimes all you have to do is just have a phone, which I'm sure most people in this room do. And most people watching us will have the same as well. All you have to just turn that on and activate it. And at the start, it might show you some figures you don't like you've just done 4,225 steps today. That's okay. But build on that over and over, and then that way you can achieve it. But the key thing is just do it. Now, even though I'm saying exercising, not this type of exercise. Because as you can tell, yes, he is on the treadmill, but there's not a lot he's achieving on the treadmill. And if you can look beside him, you can also see a couple of things you don't want to see beside him. And sitting on the chair on the treadmill does not qualify for what we mean by that. Now, we try to burn up the calories, but not in this way. I don't sit on the treadmill and have multiple donuts trying to burn up the calories. And that does not qualify as physical exercise as well. And if you're going to go for fitness, make sure you're doing it. I mean, if this number of stairs and you have to go on the escalator to get to the gym, then there's a big problem. Because then you really need to work on what can I do to make sure that I'm actually really keeping active. Now, behavioral modification, drink a lot more water. Again, take deliberate action. If there are stairs, use the stairs rather than the elevator. Park the car away from the entrance. That's something I know we're living in a winter city. I understand that. But when it's safe to do that, park the car a little bit away. So when you go out today, look at how far your car is parked from the entrance of this hotel. And make a deliberate plan that next time you're coming in here, you want to park. Now, I'm not saying go park at Northgate Mall. No. But at least park it as far as physically possible from here, so at least you can get a bit of exercising, even just walking to the room. Improve your sleep pattern. Take more steps and learn to laugh. Why is it important to laugh? We know that laughing actually does a lot for you. It actually releases more serotonin, which is a good feel-good hormone. It helps you burn calories. It helps you decrease your appetite. It improves your mood. It helps to decrease stress. Now, is there a place for rest? Now, we said this is where many of us don't do it very well. But again, it's got to be deliberate. You need to set time aside. And sometimes it's a cultural thing, and I'm glad to say that. I'll say my example. I remember working in rotations in Ireland, and I remember that at the start of the rotation, on the first day of the rotation, everybody hands in vacations and said, "What? I'm going to." Sometimes the rotations were 6-month rotations. Sometimes they were 1-year rotations. But at the start of those rotations, a lot of people we're working with will say, March 20 to March 25, I'm away. April 1 to April 7, I'm away. By the time it came to many of us actually having a vacation, was like say, I don't have anything planned. I will think about it. Of course, by the time you're thinking about it, you're already 4 months into the job, and then you're scrambling to just take 2 weeks here and there, or 3 weeks here and there, and you have nothing planned, and because you have nothing planned, you have not made the best use of that vacation. So it's going to be planned, and not only does it apply to a 6-month period, you can put it to 1 year, but not only that, put it to even 1 week, and set and say, this week, I'm going to make sure I get home at 6 p.m. I'm going to spend time with the family between 6 and 8. I'm going to make sure that I do what I like. It could be playing chess. It could be watching TV. Again, be careful about watching TV bit, because again, sometimes you start watching TV for 5 minutes and then it becomes 5 hours. So be careful with that. So, plan your leisure activities. Remember the Sabbath principle. Take a rest. Take a rest. That's quite important.